All right, thanks so much. It is getting down to the wire. In just 40 days, voters will head to the polls to pick a new president. And there is still no clear leader in the race. Oakland University political science professor Dave Dulio is with us. Professor, it's always nice to see you.
Thanks for having me, Jay.
Let's talk a little bit today. So absentee ballots going out today. Talk about early voting a little bit. I mean, we know this race seems very, very close. And we're at a point now where even people like my parents are saying, do we vote? Should we go vote early, or should we do it on election day like we've always done? Like, what are your thoughts?
Right. It's really just about options.
Yeah.
You know, we have no excuse absentee ballots now. We have 9 days of early voting that will commence a little later in the cycle, and of course the election day option. Right. It really has not been. It's never been easier to cast a ballot in Michigan. It's about options for folks, but for the campaigns, this becomes, all right, now we're in it, right? As people have ballots in their hands, they are starting to cast them, and once somebody sends it in, right, they're no longer a potential voter, right? They're sort of in the rearview mirror. So campaigns are really going to start to focus on going to their lists of identified supporters and making sure that they if they have an absentee ballot, that they turn it in, or that they go to some other method.
Vice President Kamala Harris is asking for former President Trump to do another debate. He's saying no, and one of the reasons he gives is that there's ballots out there already. What's the point right now? You know who's who.
With all due respect to former President Trump, there's a big point to it, because not everybody's going to vote absentee.
Yeah.
Not everybody's going to vote immediately when they get their absentee, right? There are all sorts of opportunities out there for candidates to be convincing voters to vote one way or the other.
About 5% undecided in our state right now.
Yeah.
And a new poll just came out again today that shows that it is so close within that margin of error. How important is that 5% going to be?
It's going to make the difference, right? I mean, it is dead even almost, maybe a point or two, right, depending on the poll that you look at. Incredibly close. 5%. That's a lot of votes that are out there still to be captured, right? Which is why we see so many ads on Fox 2's air. It's why we see so many visits from the campaigns that are coming in here and generating earned media, as well as trying to rev up their base, right? It's going to come down to two things, right? Turnout, and then which way those folks fall, right? And if one candidate can grab just a few more of them, it's going to be a good night for them.
Let me ask you this, let's dip into history a little bit, but you have a former president here that now has had two assassination attempts, this threat from Iran that we heard about against the former president. What does that do perception-wise to voters when they hear that a candidate, either that they're for or against, is under this type of threat?
Well, I would say two things. Number one, I'd say three things. Number one, I'm not a historian, but I think we can learn some lessons, right, from some trends. Oftentimes we see a rally around the flag effect, where if a president is in trouble, or if the country's in trouble, right, people rally around the country, rally around the flag. You could be seeing some of that. Lastly, I would say after the first assassination attempt against President Trump, we saw some empathy out there for him.
Right.
That might come back.
For not being a historian, pretty good historian. Professor, great seeing you.
Yeah. Thanks.
We're going to do this every week, and we love having this conversation. All right, Erica, over to you.
Dave, you nail it every single time. Thanks for being here. All right.